delay, we're going to start off the first debate, Logictroll versus Follow Me. Is AI a threat to religion? And Follow Me will be taking the affirmative. You're going to have a 9-minute opener. And let me set up my timer, and we'll start that whenever you say your first word. But let me set up my timer real quick. Let's see. And yes, whenever you say your first word, you can start your affirmative opener.
Okay. We stand before the spirits of our ancestors, the protectors of wisdom and the bearers of truth, asking for your guidance in these times of change. Oh, great ancestors, hear our voice, for we come seeking your wisdom in an age of machines that do not know the soil, the sky, or the heart of humanity. We call upon the spirits of the earth and the wind, the ancestors who walked before us, to protect our sacred traditions from the institutions of artificial forces. We pray today that the wisdom passed down through me and other generations that have come before me through song stories and rituals remain untouched by the cold algorithms of machines. May the fires of our faith, the strength of our community, and the heart of our spirituality never be replaced by circuits and code. Let no artificial creation born of human hands take the place of the divine presence that fills our hearts. May the spirits of our forebears guide us that we may navigate this new world with the sacred knowledge of our traditions intact. Protect us, our ancestors, from the forces that seek to undermine our connections to the sacred and lead us to a future where our faith in technology, hopefully can coexist. But unfortunately, we live in a time that might not be able to coexist. But hopefully, not in competition. But unfortunately, we live in a time where it might not be in competition. Good evening. I'm going to keep this very short. Now we are here to discuss an important question. An important question, my friends. Is artificial intelligence a threat to religion? I say yes, it is. Imagine walking into a local church, sit down in the pew, and instead of a friendly pastor greeting you, there's a robot that stands at the pulpit, and instead of usual sermon, the robot is saying, "Please rise. We will now begin the service with this prayer for better Wi-Fi connectivity." Does that make sense? Oh, hell no. AI was once created to do things like recommend for movies to watch or help you find the nearest coffee shop. It's now starting to challenge our most sacred beliefs. And I'm here to stop all of that, prevent all of that from happening. I'm not just talking about the AI that helps you order pizza or reminds you to take your time or reminds you to take your vitamins. I'm talking about the AI that is already capable of writing religious texts. That is some scary shit. We're living in, brothers and sisters. Answering theological questions, does that make sense? And even offering virtual spiritual guidance, does that make sense? Oh, hell no. It is like Siri, but with a PhD in theology. That doesn't make no sense. Now, some of you might think, hey, is AI just a tool, right? It is here to make life easier. Some of you guys might assume that. Sure, AI helps us automate tasks, but imagine if we let it automate our faith. Come on, man, let's not allow that to happen. What happens when AI is telling us how to pray or what the meaning of life is? Is it like letting a vending machine decide your life choices? Come on now. Would you like the wisdom of the sages? Or would you like the wisdom of a vending machine? Or the secrets of universe in a convenient snack size form? Yo, stop tripping, man. Be wise now. Be wise now. So what am I saying? What I'm saying is, after all, now it is not just about robots in the pulpits. It's not about robots in the temples. The real threats comes when AI challenges the very foundation of religion. So stay awake. Stay awake, chats. Africa is a religiously charged society. Indigenous people are religiously charged society. And let's work together to prevent AI from tearing us apart. Thank you.
Is that the end of your opening statement?
Yeah, according to my religious ancestors, yes.
Okay, thank you very much for that opening statement. I actually enjoyed many parts of it. That you had 4 minutes and 24 seconds remaining. So now we're going to move on to Logictroll's opening statement. And yes, I feel free to use all of the time that's given to you. But these are longer debates. Feel free to also say, hey, I relinquish the rest of my time. I don't need to use all of it. So it's up to you. These longer debates are just for like more exchange of ideas and information. So Logictroll, we're gonna start your opening statement. We will start the timer when you say your first word.
What's up, y'all? Thanks a lot for having me, Coco, and Kunta for being my honorable opposition. I was really honored to take on this topic as well. I think it's a really cool clash between, like you said, it's a nuanced niche topic, the clash between science and religion. But I find myself defending their synergy often. So I suppose that's the direction I'm going to kind of take this. I don't only want to defend that AI isn't a threat for religion, but I also want to sort of mesh this journey that I've been on in my research about the connections between science and religion working in harmony. So I watched a really good YouTube video in my search here. It's called Artificial Intelligence and Religion. It's a lecture by Professor Yorick Wilkes. And I wrote a little intro kind of related to a lot of stuff in that video pertaining to this topic. So here we go. The claim that artificial intelligence poses a threat to religion is based on a fundamental misunderstanding of both AI and the nature of religious belief. AI is not a conscious entity with independent agency or human modality. It's just a human-made tool, much like every other scientific advancement throughout history. And just as past technological developments were initially met with skepticism, AI too will ultimately just be integrated into both religious and societal and scientific life. The idea that AI could replace or undermine faith assumes that religion is purely about information rather than deeply personal and spiritual connection that transcends computation. More importantly, though, this claim assumes a false opposition between science and religion, when in reality they have historically worked together, informing and enriching one another. AI is not a challenge to faith, but a continuation of humanity's search for knowledge. It's a pursuit that has always been central to both scientific discovery and religious thought. As Professor Yorick Wilkes explores in his lecture, the historical and philosophical foundations of AI reveal that it does not possess the attributes necessary to challenge or replace religion. He discusses one of the earliest approaches to AI, which I found really interesting and informative, called cybernetics, which is pioneered by Norbert Wiener. Cybernetics treated intelligence as a system of feedback loops and self-correcting mechanisms, drawing analogies between machines and biological organisms. While cybernetics was an important step in scientific progress, it was never concerned with understanding meaning, morality, or consciousness. It focused solely on control and communication, mechanisms that, while useful in engineering, do not really overlap with the human spiritual experience. This early model of AI exemplifies how science and religion serve different but complementary roles. Science seeks to understand how things work, while religion seeks to understand why they matter. Cybernetics helped us to build better machines, but it could not answer the ethical, existential, or metaphysical questions that religion addresses. Recognizing this limitation, AI researchers moved towards symbolic approaches, using discrete mathematics rather than continuous mathematics. So we're moving away from, sorry for the background noise here. We're moving away from cybernetics now, and towards rule-based logic to simulate reasoning. Discrete mathematics was a significant scientific advancement, allowing AI systems to model intelligence using explicit rules and logical structures. However, this approach ultimately also failed because human intelligence, and by extension, religious belief, cannot be reduced to predefined logical steps. Faith is deeply contextual, shaped by culture, human experience, and emotions, elements that cannot be fully captured by mathematical representations. Religious knowledge is not merely about following rules. It's about wisdom, interpretation, and transcendence. And once again, we see here that science and religion are not at odds. Science provides tools for processing information, while religion provides a framework for understanding its deeper significance. The two are not competitors, but partners in human progress. The modern AI approach, machine learning, takes an entirely different path. And for any of you that have followed this ramble this far, I think this is where my research kind of coalesces, this difference between continuous math and discrete math. Unlike earlier rule-based models, machine learning operates statistically, recognizing patterns in vast amounts of data. AI today does not reason or know in any human sense. It generates responses based on probabilities without understanding meaning. Wilkes highlights that this shift in AI's design fundamentally changes how we think about knowledge itself. AI's understanding of information is purely functional. It does not reflect comprehension, intentionality, or insight. This is why, despite the impressive performance of AI models, they lack self-awareness and the ability to reflect on their own existence. This distinction between statistical inference and true consciousness is crucial because it reinforces that religion and science do not serve the same role. AI as a scientific advancement is a tool that helps us analyze and organize information, but religious faith is not merely the accumulation of information. It's the pursuit of wisdom through ethical reflection, moral responsibility, and spiritual experience. This is why the fear that AI could develop some sort of omniscience or divine authority is fundamentally flawed. As Wilkes points out, such concerns are based on category errors, misunderstandings that conflate brute force data processing with divine attributes like wisdom and intent. AI can simulate conversation, but it does not experience meaning. It can process information, but it does not possess moral judgment. It can analyze human behavior, but it does not have ethical awareness. So I could stop there. I have a few more things written, but I would like to just note quickly before I concede the rest of my time that, again, much respect to Love for taking on, or I guess Follow Me for taking on this debate. I would like to just point out one ironic thing, and maybe that could begin a cross-examination here, that did you start the whole debate here with a ChatGPT prayer? Because going on about how we might sit in pews led by robots while also leveraging ChatGPT to write a prayer seems, maybe it was intentionally ironic, but I would just love to hear your response to that. Anyways, much love. Thanks for anyone listening, and I'll concede my time.
All right, so can we go now, or we have to wait?
Yes, but give me 1 second. So I'm ending. So Logictroll, you're ending your opening statement.
How much time do I have left?
You have a minute and 49 seconds.
Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Cool. We will start the cross-examinations. Follow me. You're going to have 8 minutes to cross-examine Logictroll, and I will start your time whenever you say the first word.
So, before I ask my questions, I want to make a claim by saying everyone knows I'm a pastor. I went to seminary, all that, so I have no need to rely on AI. Right? I have multiple books in my library. I can rely on those. Thank you. Now, with that said, this dude just literally said, right, that AI lacks consciousness, AI lacks emotional intelligence, right? All of these things, right? And so I shouldn't be scared that AI is not going to, challenge religion, oppose religion, replace religion. Basically, that is his whole entire summary of his opening. Okay. So my question that I'm asking you is this, right? It's this. If I would say that it's AI, right? I would grant that AI lacks the ability to understand or process human emotions, right? And I'll also grant that it can stimulate certain partings. It may not feel or experience the emotions as humans do. I would grant that because he made it very clear that AI has these is very less effective It won't put me to sleep. It won't comfort me well, right? That's all that he's saying. Okay. So my question to you is this: what does it mean? What does it mean for something to be divine? Tell me right now.
I'm hesitant to look up a definition, but I'm going to give you my sort of my off the cuff feeling about that word. You caught me off guard a little bit. I don't really know the definition off by heart to that word. Something omniscient, benevolent. It possesses the omni properties. That would be, I guess, encompassing the divine, something like that, right?
Okay, not bad, not bad. So, would you say that AI mimics spiritual wisdom or our personal insights?
And not be able to. The same way we may struggle to differentiate between a liar and a truth teller, even
Intelligence, tell me.
bring AI into this. If you put two humans in front of me and one's a really good liar, they might dissuade me, right? So I don't have I don't have that ability to know the absolute certainty really in my human humility anyways, whether it's human or robot.
Can't tell the difference
I don't have that in my human humility anyway.
in energy.
I suppose you're using the term energy quite loose, not under the like
Okay,
biological. No.
it's AI physical.
Also, no. It's just a language model.
Okay, AI is not physical. It's a language model.
Yeah.
But wait. Let's go back. This guy is telling me that AI is not physical. Is that what you're telling me?
It's hard to parse out software from hardware in a lot of cases. There's a hardware component, but ultimately, no. These are language models, and that's what I found so interesting in my research here, kind of differentiating between science's approach at mapping your very questions. Your skepticism here is quite healthy, love, and I hope we can have this conversation in good faith. I'm not really trying to get W's from you, bro.
I'm not. I'm not.
This is a fascinating conversation, right?
If,
and
okay.
and and so as I studied, I saw that science
Wait,
kind of.
It's
Okay, go ahead.
wait.
Sure,
I
go
understand.
ahead. Go ahead.
Brother, I love you. I love you. But my thing, you just said AI refers to software, algorithms, these system process information, right? Right. And you're saying that they're not physical, right? If you're saying that you're not physical, are you saying that basically these things have a way of people can utilize these things to again mimic divine experiences?
I don't know about divinity because yeah, that was part of my research. He goes on about the omni properties sort of trying to be mimicked by AI, and ultimately no. Like we could just choose one. Um, Omnipotence, right? Omnipotence is the knowledge of everything, right? Is that would you agree with that definition?
Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean? I'm not talking about omnipotence. I'm not talking about the properties of my divine experience.
Well, we
I'm more
okay.
or less
You're saying
concerned.
you're
I'm
let
more,
me
wait, wait,
okay.
I'm more concerned. Wait, 1 second. I
Sure.
am more concerned about the utility of divine. Yeah, I'm not
Okay.
concerned about the properties of the divine.
Oh.
Okay,
Mm,
so
okay.
what I'm saying here is quite simple, brother. That you are telling me, okay, that you can't tell the difference. It's all very vague, right? That tells me that you're basically saying that regarding AI, people should somehow be okay to seek for some wisdom through the mysteries of AI, correct? So that there could be some transcendence in AI, yeah?
Don't think so. No.
Well, then you
No.
contradict yourself, because if you can't tell the difference between the divine and AI, that in a sense, you're basically alluding to the fact that there is some mystery that could be reflected in AI. Yes.
Okay. Interesting. Well, let's I kind of hear what you're saying there. Let me parse out this word ineffable. Do you know that word ineffable?
Is that a yes or no? Is that a yes or no? I'm
I'm s-
asking you a question. You ask me a question. You tell me your answers.
Well, okay, so I mean, the mystery when it comes to the solving the mystery of our consciousness, no, I don't think a language model could ever transcend that mystery. No, it might mimic solving that problem. Like you're trying to use this word mimic. I mean, there are aspects of omniscience that might be mimicked by even just the internet, right? We could say that the internet approaches the World Wide Web sort of approaches this notion of omniscience. It has all the human knowledge in it. But then obviously we picture some, you know, person in an alleyway having their own experiences, you
Okay,
know.
okay, good. I got it. So
Okay.
it might mimic spiritual wisdom. It might personalize insight.
But I don't think it could
How would you?
transcend
How
it.
would you define the word mimic there?
Right. Like impersonate, right? Falsely impersonate. It could never actually arrive at true wisdom. To your
But
point. We are in
okay,
agreement here. We're in agreement here.
if something cannot arise a true wisdom, it's just here to someone mimic me, mock me to some degree. Why should I trust it? Why should I care about this
Well,
thing that is trying to mimic me? Right?
okay.
Why should
So
I
like
trust it?
okay, so I'll try to answer your question here. That's not really a yes or no answer. So I'll try to give you a solid answer. Any tool, right? If you're to go to the library, you can't trust every author, every book in the library. So your wisdom and your spirituality is supposed to guide you through this search of knowledge. And perhaps that's kind of again in my opener where I was saying, perhaps there is some utility again in the marriage between spirituality and science, or at least like ethics and morality in science, right? We have to have something guiding us to using these tools. That's to your
Finish
point.
your last
You
sentence.
you and I are in agreement to that point.
Okay,
Okay, we're gonna stop it right there. Logic Troll, it's gonna be your cross examination. I'm gonna start the timer. You have 8 minutes. Whenever you say your first word.
Um, so look, on this idea of omniscience, let's just stay there for a simple property because I'm interested here. Again, I'm not even really considering the debate at this point. I'm just interested sort of where your thinking is. Do you agree with me that the term omniscience means like I guess knowledge of everything? Like how would you define that term?
to some degree, for the sake of argument, I would say the idea of omniscience is the ability to know all things, to have the transcendent power to know all things.
Okay. And do you see the parallels I was drawing between the World Wide Web, the internet, and how it approaches this idea of knowing everything? Maybe it mimics to your word earlier. It kind of mimics the idea of omniscience. Do you kind of agree with that?
I don't know if I agree with how that. I don't know. How does omniscient? How is that mimic?
Well. Let's try to find. I can't think of a better analogy than something in the real world that possesses knowledge of everything. Maybe a really big library with all the books in it. Like, try to give me a metaphor for your thinking that contains like a database of all the facts. Don't you think the internet's a great sort of analogy for that metaphor? It's a great metaphor for that idea, isn't it? Do you have a better metaphor? Like, what would you say? How would you paint the picture, to a child to get them to understand like this concept of knowing everything?
Say, pay attention to nature, right? Pay attention to the cosmic intelligence and the cosmic reality of ourselves, of
Okay,
that
I'm gonna
things
stop you there.
around you.
I'm gonna stop you there.
Say I would say
I'm gonna
I
stop
would
you
say
there. I'm gonna reclaim my
I would
time.
say
If I
data
can I
algorithms,
reclaim my time, please?
they do not serve
Whoa.
the
He's
role of
reclaiming his
nature.
time.
Thank you.
Stop right there.
Thank you.
Continue.
I'm gonna take this in a different direction because I sense that we're not really gonna get far there. The reason I'm trying to drill home this idea of omniscience, right, is because when scientists approach omniscience, they tried to do it in many different ways. AI is attempting to generalize about all the data on the internet. So we have this like issue, right? We can do a statistical approach to the data. We can do some sort of generalized machine learning approach, right? We can do, but all these or continuous mathematics approach, but all these approaches, sorry for the background noise again. All of these approaches fall short. So I'm making your point for you here. I hope you hear me as steel manning your position to a degree here, love. right? I'm saying that all the approaches that science has attempted to do in recreating the human mind and all of its not only rational thought, but also the spirituality, the ground earth, the prayer you said at the beginning, right? It falls short. And so, to that degree, I don't see how, to really drill home the point of this argument, how something that falls short could ever be a threat. How could something that falls short of our spirituality, our brotherly love between each other, how could AI ever be a threat to that, Kunta? Okay, I
Right.
guess I'll give you that question.
Right. I would say because AI is limited, right, to processing data. That's all it is. And that's what I can observe. It cannot facilitate deep personal change. And you said it yourself. It cannot facilitate
So, but
change that energy offers.
my
It
question
cannot.
was then,
That's why
how
it's a
is it a
threat.
threat? My question was
Right.
then, how is it a threat?
Right, because it's literally mimicking comfort. It's literally mimicking hope. It's literally mimicking personal and collective suffering. I experience grief. I have baptized people. I have how should I put it? I have literally buried people. We need to be very careful of this AI, my brother.
Are you using the word mimic kind of like mocking? Do you think that mimicking comes with this negative connotation that because, like, would you say a mirror, when you look into the reflection of a mirror, would you say that your reflection mimics what you are?
Yes, I'll say that.
Okay, so but you don't hold any grievances towards your reflection in the water or on a mirror, do you? Just because it mimics you.
Who held grievances?
Your reflection in the mirror?
Yes, I do. It's very derogatory intent. I think that's why sometimes I crash the mirror when I get upset when I stare at myself because it's a
Oh,
distortion of my original experience. Who I am
okay.
as Samuel Anson, Punta Kinte, follow me. It's a distortion of me.
Uh,
So
keep
yeah,
expanding on that. Keep expanding on that. This is off topic a little bit, but I'm just now
okay,
genuinely curious about what you are even getting at there. I'm not judging you. I've just never heard this perspective before.
yeah. What I'm saying here is that to me, how I define mimicry is that I guess like how I'm defining it is it has the ability like capturing different characteristics of something, a negative intent to belittle a subject. If I am a subject, right, and things that are not off me as a subject, right, I see it as a way to insult either indirectly or directly, right. So the mirror example that you brought up, that would be an indirect exaggeration of my flaws, right? Or indirect
Okay.
exaggeration of my vulnerabilities. And I'm not going to be subject to that foolishness. That's what I mean.
So, like, would you advocate, and I'm trying to actually steelman your position here. Would you kind of advocate against mirrors the same way you would advocate against AI?
Yes, I would. I would say nature
Okay,
is the
cool.
real
Okay.
mirror.
I
I would say
really respect
nature,
I respect the
nature is the
consistency
real mirror.
there.
Nature is the real mirror, not mirror that people have made. I would advocate against it all day.
So I think I see a connection between the words mimic and mock there, but now I guess we're getting a little off topic. You've drilled home your position, and I think I've drilled home mine. Unless there's any real further discussions or places you want to take this conversation, love, for time's sake, it's quarter after five now, Coco. I'm happy to kind of go in whatever direction you guys see fit with this, but I'm pretty content with my position and my cross examination there. And I mean, we could make closing remarks, but we're sort of on a different path here, so it's going to be hard to find a genuine disagreement between Love and I. I think a good debate sort of harnesses around, a good disagreement. On a lot of fronts, Love and I actually agree, right? I think we agree on the front that AI falls short in terms of spirituality, but I'm not threatened by it in the same way that he is. This could just be cultural differences, personal differences, who knows? But I'm not one to really, judge anyone based on that, I would just probe further, I suppose, to have a genuine discussion with you about it. I'm not really trying to get W's on you for having that stance, you know?
Okay. You just about used up all of your cross-examination time. But on that note, on based on what you just said, we could do a second round. We can move to closing remarks. I don't mind either way because the next debate does start at 8 o'clock. So, whatever you guys decide will be fine. If
45,
there's a
45 minutes? Yeah, 45 more minutes?
Yeah, but we could also do like audience input so we can fill the time with like the audience. So it's up to you guys whether you go
I
ahead.
personally do have lots I can talk about on this topic, but I don't want to hog the time, and I also want to respect Love's opinion on the space. So I don't know. What are you saying, Love? Like, do you want to probe back at me? Are you interested in any of the things I sort of said, or do you want to expand on any things you said?
Um, I think I can do some more probing. Just I don't need 8 minutes. I probably need 6 minutes, and then we can just
Maybe I'll have a couple more questions, and yeah, we'll keep going.
yeah,
Jim's
for
saying
sure.
keep going. Hell
More
yeah, let's
probing.
keep it going. Fry me
All
up.
right.
Let's go.
We can do that. So I'll give you 7 minutes, but I guess I won't go all the way. Actually, I can set it for. Hold on, let me set it for.
Lots of stuff I can talk about on this topic. I find it really fascinating. We went on a whole different direction than I thought we were going to go, though. And
Okay.
yeah, sorry, you go ahead, Maud.
Oh no, you're good. You can finish up your sentence, and then I'll start.
That's it.
Love's 6 minutes. Oh, okay, that's it.
Love.
Cool. Whenever you say your first word, Love.
Okay, so would you agree with me that throughout history, like for example, Chinese governments have used AI to power facial recognition, social credit system to monitor citizens? Would you agree that that's a thing? Okay, would you agree with me that when it comes to the United States military and cybersecurity, that that U.S. government have invested heavily in like AI, for military application,
Yes, yes.
for national security to predict to predict like national security, these kind of things.
I suppose I'm not really familiar with too much of that, but yeah, I suppose I'll grant it.
Okay, would you agree me that like AI can be used in political campaigns, shaping public opinion through social media and algorithms?
Yeah, to a degree, yeah.
And last thing I'll ask is, would you agree with that? For example, Russia, they have all of these AI-driven bots, deep fake technology that have been used to spread misinformation and manipulate online discourse. And the last question I ask is, would you agree with me that when it comes to India, okay, that which is one of the world's largest biometric database, uses AI for identifying verification or enhancing their government, or would you say,
Biometric identification, yeah.
okay. So, my given all of these, things that you have said yes to, how do you account for all of these deep fake predictive analytical concerns, which, or you don't think it's a concern?
No, I'm concerned. I'd say we are probably equally concerned just from different points of view. This is again where we align, I'd say. What guides me through is my spirituality. So I don't see how it's a threat to my spirituality because the very thing that's going to guide me, my faith, my hope, the very thing, right, my ethical and moral guidance, my love between, me and my community and my loved ones, my family, it's the very thing that's going to guide me and keep me safe through both the library, the theaters, when I look at my own reflection in the mirror, and also when I use AI or the internet.
But you just said that AI lacks divine experiences, it lacks
Yes.
conscious, it
In other
lacks
words, I don't
emotions.
get my divine intervention or whatever you want to call it, revelation, my spirituality. I don't get it from AI.
Sure, I understand that. But if it lacks these elements, why would you trust in something that is lacking? That's my thing. If it's
Okay.
because religion
Okay.
is built on
Yeah.
faith. I don't see any lacking in religion. Religion is subjective. It's
Yes.
not physical tool to
Yes.
enhance anything.
It's
So
kind of.
why would you
Go
trust
ahead.
something that's lacking?
It's kind of why tried to outline. I probably did a poor job, but it's kind of why I tried to outline the different like historical approaches to the, I guess, problem of intelligence, problem of consciousness, right? AI is an attempt to solve, I guess, in many different respects, the problem of consciousness, the hard problem of consciousness. Sorry for the background noise, right? And so we didn't really get to the point of resolving that tension. I just don't see how those attempts don't justify your question, right? Where what I don't see how you're not seeing what I'm saying there.
Logic, you're too nice, bro. You're too nice. So I mean, okay, I guess I'll grant you. I guess I'll grant you. Okay, I guess I'll grant you. AI is not here to replace, or may not be able to replace personal faith or divine experiences. But what I want to get at is this. Although I'm granting that it's not here to replace it per se, would you agree with me that people should pursue more independent metaphysical experiences rather than limiting themselves to AI that is lacking, that has no emotional experiences,
Yeah. Yes.
etc.,
Yes.
etc.,
Yes.
etc.?
Yes. Yes. And I'd be worried about my kids, screen time and interacting, how they're interacting with this kind of thing. Your question about trust is very interesting to me. I think we
Because
all. Go ahead.
sorry, because these things have OnlyFans in it. I don't see OnlyFans in religion. So go on.
Just gonna say your point about trust, right? What I was kind of trying to get at here when I went through the history of AI, all of the science approaches, the limitations of AI is the limitation of the trust, right? When I trust the model to the degree of its limitations. So if you understand like sort of the differences in the modeling, how the language models are functioning, then the limitations become more obvious to you, and you can use the tool more, in a more enlightened way. So that's kind of why I was trying to go through that history. It's like I'm showing the limitations of trust in the system. I'm not saying trust it. I'm saying very much, and it's a spiritual experiment through our experiences and experimenting in the real world, just like science is. If we weren't using AI and we were talking about something else, nuclear physics, we have the same ethical dilemma, right? Physicists working on um, uh, nuclear weapon technology will cross these similar ethical dilemmas of how to use the tools. Even
Finish your last
uh,
sentence.
even a simple apprentice at a work site, right, doing carpentry, has to wield his tools appropriately. You could either throw the hammer or build something with it.
Okay, that will end the cross examination for Follow Me. Logictroll, you could do an additional one, but it's up to you, or we can move to closing statements. And we are good on time, so either way works.
Okay, I'll linger a little bit and uh, try not to make this my closing statement. Um, do you see, love, that we align in our faith? I suppose you and I have both strong faith towards the spirituality. You see that? You give me that?
Yeah, I do. I do. I see it. I see it. We might
Okay.
have some different diverse perspectives, but we do.
But if yeah, if I saw you in real life, I'd give you a big hug, and we could easily hang out, and I would, trust you. I trust you, bro. And so, I don't trust AI. And that's because of, I believe, and this is what departs me from a lot of philosophers on this app, is I do have a spiritual component to me, right? I'm a theist. I came to this belief though through logic and not through dogma. And so I think that approach is what empowers our use of any tool. The logical, ultimately I think like logic, science, and spirituality are all kind of the same thing. They're all working towards bettering humanity, that kind of thing. Learning through experience and humbling ourselves through failures, and non-dogma, those kinds of things. So I don't know. To that end, man, I guess I would say I would like to talk about this further with you. Maybe you should watch this YouTube video I watched. Again, I would encourage anyone else to watch it. It's called I'm pretty sure it's just called Artificial Intelligence in Religion by Professor Yorick Wilkes. Goes through a really good history of AI and all the different computational approaches to intelligence and data mining, that kind of thing, and how it bounds up against religion. He incorporates this religious aspect to it. So we could probably go to closing remarks, I guess. Thanks again, Love, for talking to me, bro. It was sick.
Okay, so I'm ending the time there, and you guys will get 5 minute closing remarks. Love, yours can start whenever you say your first word.
So I'll leave this up to the chat to make whatever decision that they want to make, to use this distorted TikTok to make whatever decision they want to make based on who provide the best argument. But nonetheless, I still love Logictroll. Ladies and gentlemen, as we have discussed tonight, we have talked about artificial intelligence. It's not just a passing trend. From my perspective, I'm saying that it has been, but nonetheless, discussed tonight, we have talked about it shaping how we experience and practice religion. From my experience throughout seminary, you guys can check me. I'm not that far away from AI myself. I'm on NBC. In fact, Vivek Ramaswamy talked about me on NBC. The black pastor whom Vivek Ramaswamy talked about. And he expressed the nature of how we can tackle distortion. And one of those is racism. Does AI has anything to offer when it comes to the complications of political discourse that people suffer with day in and day out in our society? No. It's only humans that can engage in complicated tensions in order for us to experience the true nature of transformation. Today, we have seen how AI can answer spiritual questions. I have granted him that. AI has driven spirituality and to a whole new experience. I've granted him that. But my main argument stands, and it still stands because my ancestors wanted to do so. If AI can generate religious texts and offer guidance, it doesn't take much to imagine a future where faith in machines becomes more common than faith in God. The last thing I'll say, that the problem isn't just about replacing humans. I've made it very clear. And it's about the deeper existential threats, people. Existential threats. Even in psychology, they'll tell you this. That focus on existentialism if you want to choose that path. Or else you allow the pollutions to get in the way. Religion has always been the source of morality. I think he granted that. It has always been a source of community because he said if he saw me, he would hug me and I'll hug him too. Black and white, chocolate and vanilla, we will hug all day. If AI starts to dictate how we exist as a community, we will not be able to showcase empathy upon each other and struggle with the messiness of real life. People, you guys just want to run away from the messiness of real life and just say, oh, AI is going to fix it. Hell no. AI at its worst. AI doesn't just threaten religion. And when I use the word religion, threaten, I don't mean threaten in the sense of like a source to me. I'm saying threaten in the sense of, I would say, poetry can easily challenge someone. Again, I'll say it again, challenge someone to change how they look at the world. That's what I mean by threat. So in a world where an AI might be seen as a higher power, my question to you guys is, how would you ensure that our deepest beliefs, if you choose to hold on to one, or even your deepest not beliefs, aren't reduced to more data points? We must ask ourselves, are we willing to let technology redefine our very sense of purpose? Or Will we protect sense of purpose or set that have sustained humanity for centuries? Or would you rely on AI that may not be the enemy but left unchecked? It is certainly, again, a poetic threat to religion as we know it. By religion, I don't mean mere religion in the sense of how humans are able to co-opt and mimic religion. I'm talking about religion as in an infant baby. Thank you.
Okay, ending your time there. You had 16 seconds on the clock. So Logictroll, it's now your turn for closing remarks, and then we will start the audience poll.
Okay, I'll try to wrap it up quick. I think that Love had a difficult position confirming, the affirmation of the proposition is a little harder than refuting it in my position. You did an okay job, Love, and I appreciate the back and forth. I'm going to read my little closing remark I wrote here. History has shown that technological advancements do not destroy religion. They reshape it and often strengthen it. The printing press spread religious texts, radio and television broadcast sermons to millions, and now AI provides new ways to engage with theological questions. If anything, AI serves as a testament to the human impulse to create and understand, an impulse that has been central to theological thinking. Furthermore, Wilkes points out that throughout history, people have often imagined future intelligence in theological terms. Concepts like omniscience, omnipotence, and moral authority have been projected onto AI, but these comparisons are flawed. An AI system that processes vast amounts of data does not possess true omniscience. It lacks wisdom, judgment, and the ability to understand moral or spiritual truths. Likewise, an AI that influences human behavior through recommendation algorithms does not have divine authority because it operates without intent or ethical awareness. Ultimately, the notion that AI threatens religion is based on a misunderstanding of both. AI is not conscious, nor does it seek to challenge or replace faith. It remains a tool shaped by human values and intent. While AI may influence how people interact with religious ideas, it does not have the capacity to replace the fundamental aspects of faith, moral guidance, spiritual experience, and the search for meaning. Instead of being seen as a threat, AI should be understood as part of the ongoing human quest to explore knowledge, creation, and understanding, goals that have always been at the heart of religious tradition. Much love, y'all, and I can't wait to watch the next debates.
Okay, that will conclude your time, and you had 2 minutes and 58 seconds left on the clock. That will be it for the Is AI a Threat to Religion? Logictroll versus follow me, Love, or Kunta. And thank you guys for that. I'm gonna put up the poll, and Jay, do you want to say any words on that debate? Do you have any thoughts?
Uh, yeah, I, it was very interesting. Certainly some things to think about on both sides. But I think what eventually happened was that an agreement more than a debate came about from this, and maybe even an extension to discuss it further in another time or at another place, which is the case in a lot of debates. But I think the audience and the debaters got something out of this, learned something, maybe got some things to think about, and that's really what we're here for. It's not about win or lose. It's more about the topics that are being discussed. So great job, both guys. And I hope to see you guys come to more agreements rather than disagreements about this particular topic, and maybe even discuss another topic that entices both of you into debate. Thank you.
Yep. And yeah, like I think both parties did a good job in their own right. Thank you, follow me, and thank you, Logic Troll. This debate was entertaining and very educational, and I personally liked it. If you guys would like to debate in the future, please feel free to like DM me, and we can set you up with other debates. As for everybody in the audience, there's 56 people in here. Please make sure that you're liking the live and sharing the live. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate all you guys for being here. The poll is up. There's a blue clipboard in the corner of your screen. For everybody, it should be the left corner of your screen. You can go there and you can vote for who you thought won. Of course, me and Jay are not going to be declaring like any winners or saying anything, but I will post the results on my page after the debates tonight.